Welcome to Kia Ora, New Zealand. Last week, we saw the first ever New Zealand made Hindi movie live streaming on Amazon Prime in the US and Canada. Join me today in a chat with actor and filmmaker Anand Naidu, who tells us the success story from his home in sunny Rarotonga in the Cook Islands. Hi, Anand, and welcome to Kia Ora, New Zealand from sunny Rarotonga. Good to see the sea behind you, and you can see a bit of the same sea behind me, but you got the view.
Kia ora, my friend. I really thank you for chatting with me today. I really appreciate that. Beautiful day, as you can see, it's really sunny, and I'm just in the heat. And in the background, we have the Muri Beach. Muri Beach. Behind that, you will see a Motu. Motu is like a small island.
Yeah.
And if I have to be isolated, brilliant place to be isolated, I must say.
I really envy you. And the closest I can get to the islands in this state of affairs is wearing an island shirt. That's all I can.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in an island shirt. I'm too hot. At the moment, it's more about undressing and going to the beach.
Hey, Anand, congratulations on Vindaloo Empire getting into Amazon Prime in the United States. How did that happen?
That's a good story. I guess this Vindaloo Empire was my first film, and it was always very close and personal to me. And so I've been in US last 2 years, going around showcasing the film in festivals. It was in Festival of Globe and a few things. And through that, it got picked up by a distributor in US who watched the film and said, "Wow, this should be showcased in the US." So I thought they were joking, but then they contacted me after that and said, "Oh, this is great. Can you come give us something about your film?" So I sent it to them, and they got it on Amazon Prime, which is pretty impressive. And I mean, not many New Zealand films get onto Amazon Prime unless they're backed by New Zealand Film Commission or things like that. So it's sort of opened a lot of doors in that way. So I guess that's how it's come on Amazon Prime.
So it's fair to say that this is the first New Zealand Indian film to be on Amazon Prime ever.
That's true. That's true, which is good. Look, I feel very honored, and I guess to me, I guess it's a start. It's a journey, and US and Canada is a very important market, and it's taken a while, but it's there, and I guess it sets a prelude for my next film. So that's always nice.
So tell me, is this also going to be available for New Zealand viewers of Amazon Prime from here?
At the moment, it's US and Canada. We've had this in New Zealand, but if there's there are other means I can make that available in New Zealand. If there are New Zealand viewers who want to see that, if they let you know, I can set it up so that they can have it in Vimeo or other areas where they can actually have a review. I mean, there's all different ways, but Amazon is not so big in New Zealand as it is in US and Canada and India. So the next place which we're looking at is in India, and India is India. There is some. I mean, before pre-COVID-19, we're looking at a mini cinema release there's an industry which is building smaller cinemas. There's a group that is doing that, and they wanted to screen some of the films, and they were looking at Amazon to screen us in cinemas there. And from there, we would have gone to Amazon Prime in India. So it was a step process. So we are looking at that as well. But India, New Zealand, US and Canada, then India, then we would look at New Zealand back to New Zealand again in a different form.
Yeah. I remember in 2011, I was part of an exclusive preview you did of Curry Munchers for Indian Weekender especially. And I want to ask you, how did Curry Munchers, how did the name change to Vindaloo Empire, and when did that happen and why?
So this happened in 2012-13 when so Vindaloo Empire got released in the UK. Curry Munchers, our distributor called Metrodome in UK wanted to release Curry Munchers, but they said we need the name change because the people here are reflective of the fact that it has a negative connotation.
Right.
We said, look, the actual, if you watch the film, you realize that there's nothing negative in there. It actually uses it in a positive term. But I said, we're not there in UK, so we'll do whatever the distributor wants. So that's why we had a name change at that point in time. So that's the latest version we had, which is what we are sharing. Curry Munch's version was sort of changed to reflect that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we did it, so that because I'm not in UK or US to explain that, it was better to get a neutral name and let them get a feel of that and avoid the controversy if there is one.
It's interesting. You live in the Cook Islands and you make New Zealand and Cook Island themed films for the whole world. How does this work?
Well, I guess the thing is that I'm passionate about who I am. I mean, the reality is that, look, I was born in Fiji, lived in Bhutan, and lived in New Zealand, lived in India, lived in, yeah, now I live in Cook Islands. And it sort of made me a little bit feel that that stories about people who somewhere belong in different places, but has to be told, you know, and that's, I guess, in reality, we are all very similar. We have a very similar understanding, but we just have these differences, which is called cultural backgrounds. And stories like that, uh, people really want to know different cultures. They want to connect to them. So you tell those stories and make people realize that everyone is the same in some ways. You know, we all go through the same experiences. It's just that the differences are sort of more superficial than actually it is. And that's why I tell stories like that. Is that once you tell stories, you realize how, as a whole, we become global. I mean, in this area or this time where people think nationalism, I guess I'm going the other way around and saying that in terms of nationalism, the whole world is one national country. You know, not individual countries where you think. And it's, I guess I believe that, and because I've lived that, it's important to actually tell your story and make people realize that you and them are very similar. It's just different scenarios where you experience that. Did I answer your question there, or did I
Oh, yes, it
fluff
does.
around here?
It answers in several levels, you know, on a very practical level and also a philosophical level. So well done. Tell us about your next project, Standard Pearl, which I think is very close to release.
So we shot a film here in Rarotonga, Cook Islands. I mean, if you like movies like 6 Days, 7 Nights, or movies like that have, or, you know, very adventure, romance, and beautiful marooned islands, then that's what we've done. We've shot something really amazing in Cook Islands, and it's now on post-production. So what we've done is we've locked the cut in for filmmakers. That means, you know, that the story is locked now. So now we're going through the technical process, which is about 3 to 4 months, and then it's ready for release. I mean, what slowed us down is the fact that we now know everything's closed, the cinemas are going to be closed. So really, we're not trying to rush it because we need the cinemas at a place where people can then actually go, and hopefully work with that towards, I guess, towards digital release. And I mean, the whole film world has changed, as you know that, and it's understanding that market before we release that. So that's when we're trying to figure out what that means in about 3 months' time before we say how we're going to go about releasing that, you know?
Right. What else is on the cards, Anand? Have you ever considered doing something big in Bollywood?
In Bollywood. I mean, I would love to. Look, I like being in front of a screen. I have a passion to be different characters, a passion to be to feel what everyone else feels, and to express that in front of the screen. So yes, to me, if I have an opportunity to do that, whether it's in Hindi films or in English films or American films or anything, I'm very keen to do that.
Standard Pearl, can you tell us a little bit about the cast? Are there any familiar faces which we would recognize in New Zealand?
Sure, sure. I mean, look, we have Australian New Zealand cast. So if you know, if you watch Whale Rider, we have the person who played the father, which is Rawiri Paratini.
Yep.
He's an Oscar winner. We have Ray Wolf, who's been who's quite a figure. What now? If you watch that, he's been he was one of the key old guys, the more established guys in the earlier zones when I was watching it. Gosh, that shows my age. Um, also we have Rob Keeper Williams, who is now a pretty big name for Home and Away. Kiwi guy who used to be Shortland Street, but now is in Home and Away. We have myself from Australia. We have Christy Wright, who was in Home and Away star. She used to play Chloe in Home and Away. We have Robert Rietano, who's done a lot of films there. Then we have Alicia Rose, who's an Australian actress, but whose movie's been featured in US as well. She's had a release in US. So there are some really good New Zealand Australian stars in it, and pretty much New Zealand crew. So it's a combination. We've got world artists involved as well. We've got music directors from India. We've got music. All our production crew and cast is from New Zealand. So.
Sure. Thanks a lot for your time. But before I let you go, Anand, can you briefly tell us what's happening in the COVID situation in the Cook Islands?
So at the moment we have no COVID-19 in Cook Islands, but what we have done is we've closed all our borders to everyone. So the reason is we are, as a Pacific island, we are always worried about the health risks that we have for the people up here. So once that, I guess when New Zealand becomes reasonably free from COVID-19, we have a way to deal with COVID-19. We will open our borders to New Zealand. We are one of the REAM countries, and we will invite all the Kiwis to come, give them an opportunity to at least travel outside of New Zealand. But we're looking forward to that. So at the moment, it is very much about closed borders, tourism down, and safety of people, and keeping people understanding the importance of family and connecting and things like that. So in some ways it's allowed me to be a better father, a better family man than I guess I could ever dream of.
Well, thank you very much, Anand, for being with us, and all the best for your future and for the release of Standard Pearl.
Thank you, Dave. Can I just say one thing to everyone, friends and families in New Zealand? Can you please look for Vindaloo Empire under Amazon Prime? Share that link with your friends and family in US and UK. I will send you the link, Dave, so that you can forward it to people who ever want.
Sure.
Please ask them to watch the film, review it, rate it. The more New Zealand films are seen in the world, the better. In US and Canada, the better opportunity it is for all New Zealand filmmakers and New Zealand film watchers to see their film in US and Canada. Please push that review process. Be honest about it. We're not asking you to get them to watch it, and put their honest review, because we believe they will like it.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Dave.